They say your past never really lets go of you, and for me, that truth hit like a bullet when I came home to Winder Creek, Georgia, thinking I could just lay low, breathe a little, see my sister, and forget the war zones I left behind. But I was wrong. So dead wrong. It started with blood pooling beneath my little sister Layla's body, right there on Maple Avenue. I wasn't in uniform. I wasn't on a battlefield. I wasn't even armed. But the man who shot her, Officer Greg Tillman, he had no idea who I was. He had no idea that the woman he murdered in broad daylight was the only family left to a man trained by the U.S. Army's most elite. He didn't know that by pulling that trigger, he declared war on a Delta Force commander who had spent 20 years dismantling terrorist networks. This time, the battlefield was home. Let me rewind a bit. My name's Malcolm Reed, 39, decorated operator, Delta Force. I hadn't been home in 3 years, not since we buried Mama. The military had been my escape. Layla? She stayed. She stayed and fought. Organized. Educated. Marched. While I was sneaking through foreign compounds, she was running voter drives out of a repurposed Victorian house painted sunshine yellow with her own hands. That house. It was the only light in a neighborhood shadowed by old flags, quiet stares, and smiles with teeth. Layla always said Winder Creek didn't need savage, it needed remembering. Needed someone to stay, to remind people they mattered. I used to think she was wasting her fire. Turns out, she was the only one who saw the full blaze coming. When I arrived, she hugged me so tight I forgot how tired I was. She brewed coffee that tasted like ash and told me everything, how the harassment had ramped up, how Officer Tillman had a habit of patrolling black gatherings like he was hunting, how complaints vanished, how the mayor's office turned a blind eye, and how the new developments creeping into our part of town weren't just gentrification, they were war by paperwork. I nodded. I listened. I told her I'd make a few calls, pull a string or two. She smiled like that was enough. But nothing was enough. Next morning, she was heading to the community center, blouse crisp, hair pinned, hopeful as ever. I offered to ride with her. She waved me off, said I needed rest, said I should visit Mama's grave. Go talk to her, she smiled. She's been waiting. That was the last smile I saw on her face. For blocks from her apartment, Officer Tillman pulled her over, claimed her taillight was out. I know because she called Mep at me on speaker, calm and deliberate, like she'd trained for it. She was recording too, as always. She told me his name, told me she was staying in the car, said, "I'm following the law, Malcolm. Don't worry." But I heard the tone change, heard Tillman's voice rise, heard the threat in it. Then, the shots. 3 of them. I was running before her phone hit the floorboard. By the time I got there, she was bleeding through her blouse. Tillman had already radioed in shots fired, suspect down. Suspect. My sister. A teacher. An activist. A damn light in this world. I tried everything. Pressure on the wound. Called for medics. Screamed at the sky. She blinked once. Then she didn't again. And Tillman? He said she attacked him. Said he saw a weapon. Said he had to defend himself. Said it like he'd practiced it. The knife he claimed she had was clean. No prints. Planted. I knew it. I saw the angle of his hand. I'd seen men plant evidence before, just never in Georgia. And that's when the mission changed. I wasn't a brother in grief anymore. I was an operator again. I went back to the house Mama's place and turned the garage into a forward ops base. Not a bunker. A war room. You want to know what people don't get about folks like me? We don't need firepower to break a system. We just need time. And patience. First came the intel. I started mapping everything. Mayor Danvers' ties to a company called Pine Row Development, a shadow corp buying up black homes for pennies. Chief Emmett Colburn, old drinking buddy of Tillman who had dismissed over 20 excessive force cases in the last decade. Judge Renshaw? Paid off. D.A. Harper? Complicit. Layla had been investigating them too. I found her hidden drive tucked behind an air vent filled with years of research, property records, tax maps, affidavits. Hell, she was building a RICO case and didn't even know it. Next came the cracks. I mailed Tillman a picture of the storage unit he was using to stash confiscated items. Just a photo. No words. Then I sent Chief Colburn's wife a manila envelope, hotel receipts, cash withdrawals, a burner phone. Let him explain that over breakfast. To Judge Renshaw, I didn't even bother with subtlety. Walked into his chambers, put a folder on the desk, and said, "You can sign these warrants, or I can make this a very public scandal." His hand shook the whole time. And I wasn't alone. Officer Naomi Jenkins Black, mid-30s, straight shooter, found me. Said she'd been waiting for someone like me to come back. She handed me a flash drive, internal memos, altered reports, body cam edits. Said, "You take him down. I'll cover you from inside. You ever dismantle a town like a bomb? Clip by clip, wire by wire. Each connection traced back to the same route?" That's what I did. They tried to frame me next. Planted coke in my rental car. A woman came forward claiming I assaulted her in a bar I'd never been to. But I had alibis, footage, witnesses. Even had my buddy Darnella, fellow Delta, now working private intel, leak a fake classified mission order to buy me time. And then they grabbed Mama, took her into protective custody, put her in a municipal apartment like she was some senile threat. That's when the community snapped. They marched. Old men in Sunday suits. Teenagers with homemade signs. Preachers, teachers, mothers pushing strollers. Hundreds filled the courthouse steps demanding Mama's release. And when police showed up in riot gear, well, that just lit the fuse. I pulled Mama out that night. No one even saw me. Slipped through their own security system like a ghost. She cried when she saw me. Said Layla would be proud. Told me to finish it. So I did. I released the footage, Layla's full stop, unedited. Showed her calm, her compliance, and Tillman's cold execution. Showed him planting the knife. Sent it to every outlet, every civil rights org, every congressional staffer I could find. And then I watched Oakwood crumble. Chief Colburn was arrested trying to flee state lines with duffel bags of cash. Judge Renshaw resigned 2 days later. D.A. Harper skipped town, but not before his assistant flipped on him. Tillman? He snapped. Took hostages in the precinct armory, ranted about being betrayed. I went in myself through a service tunnel Layla had diagrammed years ago. I disarmed him. Got it all on tape. He confessed to everything before they dragged him away. And me? Yeah, they tried to court-martial me. Called me a rogue. Said I crossed lines. But my colonel? He stood by me. Said I did what the Constitution asked, protect from enemies foreign and domestic. I didn't go back to Delta. I joined the FBI's Civil Rights Division. Now I carry Layla's files with me into every case. We renamed the community center after her, the Layla Reid Center for Justice and Empowerment. It's the heart of the town now. But that's not where this ends. A few weeks ago, I got a message. Encrypted. Anonymous. Said, similar pattern detected in 3 more counties. Same players. Same tactics. Same silence. Are you ready? I am. And if you've ever seen power abused, if you've ever watched a system protect its own while burying the truth, then you know why I can't stop now. So tell me, what would you have done? Would you walk away? Or would you fight? Drop a comment below. Justice for Layla if you believe we can't stay quiet anymore. Hit like if this story moved something in you. And subscribe if you're ready for more stories of truth, pain, and the fight to reclaim what's right. Because justice doesn't come easy, and sometimes it doesn't come at all, unless someone refuses to back down.